Representative Maher, Representative Christiana, and I are really working on the package together. While each of us may have one that we particularly specialize in, this is really a team effort in order to fix these problems in our state-related universities. Our package consists of really three parts. Number one is making those universities subject to the PA Ethics Act and the Board of Trustees. The second thing is subjecting those state-related universities to the right-to-know laws. That's important for transparency. When taxpayer dollars are used, people ought to know where their money's being spent. And then the third changes the governance structure of the Pennsylvania State University from 36 voting members down to 21 voting members, while also increasing the percentage of alumni that are represented on those boards. My reason for focusing on that particular issue is I'm a Penn State graduate, so I have a little bit of additional insight there and have some contacts at the university that I think would be great to help negotiate this process through.
The state universities have a special relationship with Pennsylvania. They are nonprofits. They're separate and apart from the state, and they're actually the only 4 out of thousands of nonprofit organizations that are subject at all to the right-to-know law. But because of that special relationship, we need to expand the scope of documents that the public can easily access and make it crystal clear that these are in the public domain. Also, it makes perfect sense to expand the ethics law so that the officials for these state-related universities have the same ethical obligations as government officials. And I think that will be widely embraced.
We should continue in our pursuit of allowing taxpayers to see where every dollar of their hard-earned money is invested. Like our state-owned schools, these universities receive a tremendous amount of tax dollars. Taxpayers deserve to know that their money is being used for the right reasons. So my proposal would subject members of the Board of Trustees and other employees at the state-related universities who are responsible for recommending official action to the requirements of the Pennsylvania Ethics Act. This would require these individuals to file statements of financial interest, just like the employees of the state system of higher education, just like the members of the legislature.
It's always important. It's taxpayer dollars. They deserve to know what's going on. I've had questions. Being on the board, I can tell you, is maybe as political, even maybe more political sometimes than the Pennsylvania General Assembly. And I have always stood for transparency. I have pushed for it. I believe in transparency. I spent 5 years of my legislative life pushing for it was really the second Sunshine Bill. The first one was demolished by court decisions. So the Pennsylvania Newspapers Association asked me to undertake it, and I reluctantly did, but we succeeded. And it was a pretty good bill, but there was a couple exemptions, and the state-related universities were 4 exemptions.
I'm here today representing Penn Staters for Responsible Stewardship, and we're a grassroots advocacy organization that has been in support of truth and transparency within the Penn State Board of Trustees. So we're very much in favor of it. In research that's been done about best practices in board governance and in reviewing some of our peer institutions, we are very much of the mindset that the board is too big the way it is now, that it is representative of some individual interests that are not in the best interest of the Penn State University as a whole.
I've been fighting this fight almost since the day I joined the board, because it became abundantly clear to me that at the time, with 30 voting members, it was too large to engage the full board. And the only way we can be successful as a governing body is through engagement. I have believed from day one that we should be subjected to the State Ethics Act, particularly when you're dealing with, in the case of Penn State, an appropriation of in excess of $300 million, an annual budget in excess of $6 billion. What I learned when I joined the board was that members were dealing with themselves away from the board, but none of us knew about those dealings. And human nature is such that if you think that someone's dealing with someone else, which results in some sort of economic gain, doesn't impact their thinking when it comes to a vote, then I have a bridge to sell you in New York.